Well, thank you so much for being here with me once again on another episode of A Legacy of Love, Un Legado de Amor. And today we have a very special guest. Her name is Carey. Thank you, Carey, for being here with me today. It is such an honor.
Thank you, Analee. I'm glad to be here.
We would love to hear a little bit about you, what you do for a living, a little bit about your story, uh, anything you would like to share with us today.
Sure. I have been an entrepreneur for over 30 years. Started out in the industry of network marketing with a company called Arbonne, which most women know. I started doing that when my kids were little so that I could work from home and built a really big team. And out of that training and teaching all of these people, I had to teach them how to have a really powerful, clear, written vision for their life. Because without that big why, Annalie, I knew that once they started getting all the rejection and life got busy and all the things that they would probably quit, right? So I had to teach them how to make a big, powerful dream come to life, right? So because of that, about 14 years ago, I decided to start teaching that to the public. And so I started doing little workshops, and out of that, people started asking me to coach them. Mostly, I've been coaching a lot of female service-based entrepreneurs that aren't making money with their business. They're kind of drifting and winging it. And so they got their vision written, and then they needed to know, okay, what do I do with this and how do I turn it into a business plan? And so I still teach and coach those women, but in the past almost 11 years now, I have lost both my husband and my 25-year-old son to suicide 3 years apart. And so, because I'm a public speaker, people know my story. I started talking about why having a vision gives you hope in your life and how it gets you through just about anything. Because most people will ask me, how did you get through that? How are you surviving now? And I tell people it's because I know what my purpose and my vision is. So it just, the tragedy and the adversity I've been through, Annalie, just 10x'd my whole mission, so
And
to
there's
speak.
people that don't see life like that. There's
Right,
people that are in a very different place right now, and
right.
they're going to be listening to your story and they're going to say, "This is not possible. How was
Hmm.
it that she was able to overcome so much?" And
Yeah,
it was just a matter of 3 years apart.
right.
How did she do it?
Mhm.
Um, in reality, when you lose someone, and I've been there, and it was not an easy thing, and I mentioned it on my book, it was baby steps. I
Yeah,
had my seasons, I had my moments. There was times that I was not wanting to even get up from bed. Did I get up? Yes, I did. But it
right.
was challenging. It was very painful. It was hard to move on without them. I personally felt, and I'm saying all this because it's about brainstorming. So to help these people that are still in a dark place, um, I just didn't want to move on. I felt that it was not fair for me to move on and to continue
Mhm.
my life, my journey, my dreams, my hopes, and that they were left behind. That's how I felt. Like part of me was gone, and how could I even dare move on without them? And that's what I'm thinking. Back in that day, that's what I was thinking. I was just a little girl, and that's what would go through my mind. Why? This isn't fair. This is impossible. She was just going to go to have a baby. My mother passes away due to complications of placenta previa. And I'm going to share when that happened. That was in 88. You could probably have start doing your math back in the day till now. I was just about to be 15. And she passes away. I was very blessed that she taught me about who to go to, where to
Mm,
go to, where to be strong, where I would be able to hold on, and that was the Lord. But not everyone knows about him. Uh,
right.
what is your strategies? Do therapy, what to do. For
Mhm.
you, it was okay, finding my purpose, hope I could move on. But there's still other ladies out there that they don't seem to find the hope. They don't have the desire. I
Mhm.
didn't have the desire, even though I knew where to go to.
Yeah.
What would you tell them?
You have to have something bigger than where you're at right now, because life is full of adversity. we'll get through one thing and there'll be another thing. And what I know is that I could have easily quit. Um, I took some time off, of course, and people deal with loss and adversity in different ways. And I think that everybody needs to know that you have to do it however it works for you.
Mhm.
I have a daughter who, so when we went through this together, obviously, she dug into counseling and getting in some group therapy, and I went inward. I did a lot of alone time, journaling, praying, um, walking and talking with God, right? So you have to do what works for you. But I also know that unfortunately, how horrible this is, there is a purpose in it. And I just know that right now I'm being powered by God and a source much bigger than me. And that my loved ones that I've lost are literally working through me in this mission. I think I shared that, I really want to work with young adults now, helping them with their vision because so many of them are really drifting and not happy. And it's very much a challenge in their young adult world right now.
Yes.
So you find something bigger than you, and it's not going to be every day where you can get up and dig in. You just have to, go with how you feel. But most days I get up and do what I'm called to do.
Very interesting. And, for these people that are going to be listening, well, yeah, I'm going to find something that's bigger than me. Oh, okay, well, she found herself praying a lot, or she found herself, in my case, I found myself, and still till now, maybe it's a bad thing to share. I have to admit something. So I wouldn't think about my mother. I wouldn't think about my child. I wouldn't think about my best friend. And now my other friend Clyde that also passed away just recently.
Mm,
To be exact, this September it's going to be 2 years, and he and I were September babies, just like my husband. So it's hard. Every September it comes, and I know I became all about work. And
yeah,
yes, it sounds ugly, but I became a workaholic. I could work and work and work. So I would not think. So
yeah,
I would not be focused on that. I would focus another mission, another dream, another thing to conquer, to task, another dream conquered. I got it. But at the end of the day, like you said, yes, you have to sit down, and I would meditate. I would pray. I
mhm,
would spend some time with the Lord. But then as soon as I was done, let's work. Let's
right,
continue working.
right,
And that was to keep my mind off of the reality
right,
of the loss. Um, Probably deep inside, I was always thinking, oh, she's gonna come back.
hmm,
Oh, it's a bad dream. Because it's so painful, to come to a place that you want to admit that
yeah,
this is what it is. It's just so, it is painful, and it makes me even want to think about, I want to cry, but knowing I'm not there anymore, knowing, but I could remember as I'm talking to you, I could actually go back to those times, to
hmm,
those seasons where it was just so fresh. Um, and we had just buried my mom, and we were actually leaving the country, and she was going to be staying in a different place. So that was very difficult. And not even thinking the fact that no, my mom will always be with me because I'm part of her and
right,
she's part of me. But these are the things that women and men need to hear,
right,
that it's not over with, that even though they might not be here, physically, you have a connection with that loved one, and that it is well to cry, it is well to feel, to grieve, to have these moments that you need some space, that you want to cry, that you want to pray, that you want to cry out to the Lord, do therapy. I don't know, talk to a friend. Maybe that would be a good option for you. Find something, as you said, Carey.
hmm,
Maybe it works for you. It might not work for them.
right,
What I shared about me, maybe it's worked for me. We're all different, and we
yeah,
have to figure out what works for you. Maybe for your daughter, there was something different that helped her. Maybe
right,
it was journaling. I'm even going even deeper. Journaling. What was it that you didn't get to tell your loved one,
Hmm.
because we're never expecting that they're going to leave when we're actually hoping for the best, that they're going to stay here forever. And there's certain conversations that you didn't get to have. And maybe you have to write that final letter of closure because we didn't get to have that, Carrie. And
Yeah,
I assume you were not expecting this to happen, right? With your
no.
husband, with your son. Did you ever think about journaling or writing something or in your own way of letting them know that or having closure?
Hmm. Well, I journal a lot. So, I mean, that's just been a lifelong thing pretty much. So yeah, journaling helps a lot. And not everybody does that. My daughter's not a journalist. She doesn't journal. So again, you do what works for you. And that's just always been the big part of the first hour of my day, for
That's
sure.
what you do. Yes. So, what has she done that might be able to help these people that are going to listen through the loss? Because you might come up with other ideas for the
Mhm.
people, for the audience.
Well, she and I co-authored a book together in 2019 called Keep Looking Up. And so in the book, we share 11 things that we learned in the journey, that uh, in hopes to help other people who are going through their own adversity, because so many people would come to us and ask, how do I help somebody that's going through something? How do I get through this? So we co-authored that book, which was amazing. And then we started speaking together quite a bit. And then she got married and started having babies, so she doesn't do that so much anymore. But she's a big believer in counseling. She talks a lot about it, especially when she gets on Instagram every once in a while. Talks to people about how much she really believes in talking to people. So, it's she has a busy family life and she's loving her life and she's doing it her way. And, we just know that they're with us and we talk a lot about them. So it's just she and I, like I said, have dealt with it in different ways and some similar ways. Just having respect for each other in that.
Another thing that I could actually suggest is that to keep their legacy alive.
Yeah.
In my own case, it was not only my book, but my workbook go hand in hand. But I also wanted to go to the next level by having actually a cookbook, because my mom loved to cook and bake. So,
Mm.
with that said, I went ahead and I added my own flair because I want to keep her alive. And as you said, I believe that they're always with us, and it's up to us to keep their memory alive and to and take that legacy that they gave us to the next generations to come. Why not? That would be actually my final message, and I know that you have to have a final message here also with the audience.
I just really want to encourage people that if you are in a place right now where you are not feeling like you see the light at the end of the tunnel, that this is a really good time to sit down. And so when I walk people through getting their vision written, Annalee, what I get them to do is sit down and with a journal, date it as if it's 3 years out and think about how old you will be, how old your family members will be, and create that lifestyle that you want as if it's 3 years out in every area of your life, your family life, your faith life, your career, your fitness and health. I mean, everything. Because, and this is what I love doing with young adults because they don't think about that. They're like, oh my
Yes,
gosh,
they
I'm gonna
don't.
be 35, right? So I get them to see beyond where they're at and to create that beautiful life that they would love to have and just start taking some baby steps in that direction. And I do have a workbook called Vision is Victory that I will give you a link to, Annalie, that you can share with your listeners because it's a free downloadable workbook to write your vision like you've never done before.
Wow, well, I really appreciate that. And I know that they will also appreciate knowing that it is well. And my way to say it, it is well in Christ, because we're all connected one way or another by our mighty Father.
Yeah.
And even though you might not be in a good place, please give yourself an opportunity. You're well worth it. And come on, come to the light. It will be worth it. Have a wonderful day, and thank you for coming here with me once again on another episode of A Legacy of Love, Un Legado de Amor. Thank you. And thank you for being here with me today.
Thank you, Annalie.